Nick Velasco had a rousing debut para sa kanyang bagong kupunan, ang Alaska Aces. He scored 30 big points, matching his career high. At siya po ay makikipagbanggaan ngayong hapon sa isa pang napalaking mama, si Ginoong Ali Peak ng Coca-Cola Tigers. Siya namang gumawa ng 21 points at 11 rebounds as these two teams are carrying one win and no loss records going into this afternoon's ball game. At magiging gera po sa ilalim. War inside the paint, war at the front lines this afternoon as we bring you our live coverage of the Grand Matador PBA Philippine Cup. Magandang hapon sa kanilang lahat. Nico Halili, kasama po si Peter Martin, bringing you the first of two games today mula rito sa Araneta Coliseum. Two teams that won their first games. Peter, ang isang team dito will go 2-0. Yung isang team makakatigim ng panalo for the first time.
Well, importante to para sa dalawang koponan. Of course, aside from the bragging rights they're gonna get being the #1 team in the PBA at this point, if they win, syempre you wanna go into a 2-game winning streak. Ano mangyayari dito? Kahit na magkaroon ka ng mga injuries pagdating sa gitna ng conference, kahit na you go into a funk or into a slump, you still have 2 games already at your belt.
Yeah, but Peter is saying that maganda yung meron kang early momentum.
May pundar ka na.
Yan, simula pa lang maganda na ang pinapakita. Alam niyo po, basta all Filipino ang labanan, there are players who flourish pag wala na po yung mga import. At kita-kita po yan sa laro ni Nick Velasco. Lumipat mula sa San Miguel Beermen at dito sa kanyang bagong tahanan sa PBA, he is very much at home. Sa katunayan, he matched his career high 30 points in that opening day win para sa Alaska.
Well, talk about the adjustment period. Parang walang adjustment period itong si Nick Velasco. Straight into the starting 5, straight into being the best player of the ball game. 30 points, 2 out of 6 from the 3 points, 88% from 2-point field goal. At alam mo, Miko, what this guy brings na hindi dinadala ng ibang mga big men ng Alaska is his 3-point shooting. Big men of the other teams will have to step out and guard against a 3-point shot. Siyempre, luluwang yung depensa ng kalaban.
Totoo yan. Well, Nick Velasco brings with him an inside and outside game. Pero yung kanyang katapat dun sa kabilang kampo, si Ali Peak, he is all muscle, all business inside. And that's exactly what he did. Laban po sa Air 21 Express, kung saan gumawa po siya ng 21 points at 11 rebounds. Double-double is really just another day in the office para kay Mr. Peak.
Nakita natin yung mga highlights niya, dalawang dunk magkasunod, And of course, it's a good sign for the Coca-Cola Tigers because one of the problems of the Coca-Cola Tigers is its interior offense. Yung kanilang post-game, we will see 21-11, 3 blocks. So he did his part on the defensive end with 2 steals to boot.
Well, Ali Peak used to play for the Alaska Aces. At itong Alaska, aside from Nick Velasco's sterling performance, they also got able support from their other versatile big men. Kaya po si Don Carlos Aliado at si Tony De La Cruz. At kaya naman napakalakas nitong frontline ni Coach Tim Cone.
Well, si Don Aliado, pag-usapan natin si Don Aliado, of course, he welcomed Nick Velasco. Miko, aside from being insecure na magkakaroon siya ng kalaban sa pwesto, talagang he stepped up, he scored 20 points, and he complemented the good game of Nick Velasco. Tony De La Cruz looks like he's settled down already with this team. It took him a conference, but aside from the 14 points, yung 10 rebounds para kay Tony De La Cruz, that's crucial because Alaska needs all the rebounds it can get.
So Don Aliado and Tony De La Cruz, part of Alaska's balanced attack against the San Miguel Beermen noong nakaraang linggo. Kaya napakaganda ng pinakita ng Alaska, scoring a convincing win against the Beermen. Kasama rin natin dito sa ating live coverage si Mr. Jason Webb. And Jason will be talking about a former teammate of his na naglalaro ngayon ng mabuti dito sa PBA. Jason?
Thank you, Miko. Well, according to both the coaching staff and players of the Alaska Milkmen, Willie Wilson has been playing so well the entire preseason as well as the end part of last conference. Ito nga si Willie Wilson, at one point sinabi ng Alaska that they have to give him an opportunity to play. He is just too good and playing so well. At ngayon na-trade na nga to si Brandon Cablay at Rich Alvarez. Willie Wilson definitely got the opportunity in the last game and he has made everyone feel good about their respect for him. Yung believe sa kanya ng management ay sinuklian niya naman. Look at his numbers, 10 points, that's a career high. 5 out of 5 from the field, 5 rebounds and 2 assists. 8 points over the career high of Peter Martin. Back to you guys.
Ganon, ha? Well, Jason, you know Willie very well. The thing I like about Willie Wilson was his determination to transform himself from a collegiate power forward to a PBA guard.
Oh ha, at saka Willie Wilson's game was always there, no? Hindi naman nawala yan. Yung opportunity to play lang ang nawala sa kanya pagdating sa Alaska because of all their starters and of course of Alvarez and De La Cruz. But right now, he plays second fiddle to the position of etong si Tony De La Cruz. 5 out of 5, hindi pa pala nagmimitis this conference si Willie Wilson.
I think this is the first time pinag-usapan natin si Willie Wilson before the start of a game. And that only goes to show gaano kaganda yung pinakita niya in the last game. Now, we're used to seeing John Arrigo. We're used to talking about John Arrigo. At the start of ball games, he is a designated gunner para dito sa Coca-Cola. And he really gunned down the defense doon po sa panalo ng Coca-Cola against Air 21.
Well, very relaxed itong si John Arrigo. We know that John Arrigo can do it on any given night. But what the Coca-Cola Tigers coaching staff is asking for, hinihingi nila yung consistency ni John Arrigo on the offensive side, of course. He's the 1-2 punch, Ali Peak and John Arrigo, of course, yung dalawang nanggaling sa Alaska. Baka sila rin ang pumatay ngayon sa Alaska. Look at his statistics, 28 points, 2 out of 4 in his first game. Well, of course, yung Tigers will be expecting another good game from John Arrigo tonight.
So ayan po, Arrigo and the Coca-Cola Tigers and the Alaska Aces, they will do battle dito sa loob ng championship capital of Philippine basketball, the Araneta Coliseum. And you can catch all the action here on ABC Sports. The jump ball is coming right up. Oh, yes. Here are the primary protagonists for this afternoon showdown between Alaska and Coca-Cola. There's the matchup between the Cool Cat Mike Cortez against rookie Denok Miranda at the point guard spot. It's going to be the Jeffrey Carriazo versus John Arrigo. Don Liliado and Rafi Rivas tangle up in the middle. Tony De La Cruz and Will Antonio are matched up at the forward spot, and Nick Velasco and Ali Peak. Both gentlemen had sterling performances in the very first game of their respective teams, at kami po nagagalak na makasalo kayo ngayong Biyernes ng hapon dito sa PBA on ABC. Ang Alaska po ay nakapula, ang Coca-Cola nakaputi, at parehong walang talo ang dalawang koponan.
Well, dapat yung mga nanonood ngayon masanay na sila sa mga bagong players ng Alaska. Of course, Nick Velasco, Eddie Laure, and Renzi Bahar. But the big story here is Nick Velasco, who's starting at the center position right there in the middle. And well, of course, when you look at Nick Velasco, you always associate him with another team, of course, San Miguel Beerman. But right now, masanay na kayo. Nick Velasco will play for Alaska tonight.
First possession goes to Coca-Cola. Here's the veteran, Will Antonio, over to Ali Peak. Denok Miranda. We're glad to see this young player back on his feet after sustaining a serious foot injury, but he's back in harness and he scores the first basket of the ball game.
Looks like he's good right now. 1.5 months sideline before he got to go back in a Coca-Cola uniform.
I don't know about you, Peter, but I look at Mike Cortez now. I mean, not to put Brandon Cablay in a bad light, but he seems to be more relaxed. He seems to be playing with newfound determination and energy.
Well, maybe it's the fact that si Coach Tim Cohn has put more pressure on the shoulders of Mike Cortez. Last game, I was able to nag-courtside ako dun sa game ng Alaska versus San Miguel, at narinig ko ito si Coach Tim Cohn was getting on the nerves of Mike Cortez, telling him to be more aggressive on the offensive end.
Kasi wala na siyang kahati dun sa point guard spot.
Wala na siyang kahati. Talagang Renzi Bahar. Well,
back up talaga si Renzi. As Ali Peak throws it down. Well, as we mentioned at the top of the coverage, basta all Filipino, when the imports are gone, there are certain players who will naturally flourish. Whose numbers will naturally go up. And Ali Peak is one of them. Don Aliado connects.
One other person na nagpo-flourish din ng laro, ito si Don Aliado. We saw his last game, 20 points. In 10 out of 12 shooting for Don Aliado. Don Aliado starts hot in this first game.
We're tied at 4 here in the early moments of the opening quarter. Ali Peak, may tangan ng bola laban kay Aliado with 8 to shoot. Tony De La Cruz getting ready to help. Drop step para kay Peak and cannot be denied. At meron na siyang 4 points.
Alam mo naman yung Alaska ayaw pa mag-double team early in the ball game. Of course, third possession for the Coca-Cola Tigers. Coach Tim Cohn opting not to go with the double team.
Turnover, laban kay Cortez. Here's Miranda. Miranda stops and pops and it's short. And the ball will end up with Mike Cortez. The pool count against Rafi Rivas. Acrobatic move. Despite the presence of Rivas, Cortez scored.
Oh, the great body balance of Mike Cortez. 4 points already in the ball game. I'm scoring for Alaska.
Here's Arrigo. Coming off a 28-point ball game para sa Coca-Cola. Rebound para kay Velasco. Cortez on the move. Cortez over to Aliado. Muntik pang pumasok yung bola of Will Antonio. Possession goes to the Tigers. We're tied at 6. With over 9 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Miranda. Nice move, but just could not finish. Here's Cortez. Itong Alaska, pinalo po ang San Miguel in convincing fashion, 103-90 sa unang araw ng Grand Matador Philippine Cup. Here's Carriazo on the right side. Carriazo on the move. In and out. As Arrigo scoots in, and action has been very brisk here in the opening quarter.
Picture perfect 3-on-2 fast break. Arrigo with a, well, medyo mahirap din yung layup na ginawa and got to go.
Ace is down by 2. Aliado with the rebound.
Ito si Don Aliado, well, yun na nga, yung newfound friend niya underneath. Ito si Nick Velasco. I think they complement each other very well. You can see the way Don Aliado is playing. Mas gigil siya this conference.
7 to shoot para sa Coca-Cola. Bounce pass para kay Ali Peak. Yes, sir.
Ali Peak! You know, those medium range jumpers of Ali Peak will come few and far between. Pero kailangan mo rin respetuhin if you're Don Aliado because he just get that last one.
Here's Velasco on the move. Rebound para kay Miranda. Over to Antonio. Tigers up by 2 here in the opening quarter. Arrigo. Babalik ang bola kay Peak. Laban kay Aliado. 9 seconds sa kanilang shot clock. There's a drop step. Ali has really mastered that move.
And now the decision of the folks, or rather the Alaska bench, is whether to double Ali Peak 2 times already. Sa one-on-one situation, nakuha na niya ng puntos itong si Don Aliado.
7.5 to go in the opening quarter. Apat ang lamang ng Coca-Cola. And Tony De La Cruz was on the roll inside. Nice pass coming from Cortez.
First 2 points of Tony De La Cruz. And the guy who also knows how to move without the ball as well as shoot it along the wings.
We're approaching the 7-minute mark of the opening quarter. 2 points ang lamang ng Coca-Cola. Ngayon pa na si Miranda, the rookie out of FEU. Slicing through, pero kapos yung kanyang layup. Here's Cortez. 2-on-1 break. Nice tap there coming from Arrigo. Ball will stay with Alaska.
Good defense on John Arrigo, who was, well, he had 2 red shirts against himself. He's lonesome. Buti natapik niya yung bola. Of course, Alaska will have the inbound.
Velasco. Double pass para kay Aliado. No go. 6.5 remaining in the opening quarter. Dos puntos ang kabante ng Coca-Cola. And Ali Peak makes it a 4-point game, and he has a bonus free throw to boot.
Well, he has been hot in the first quarter. 10 points already for Ali Pig. Nobody has seemed to... Wala makakahinto dito kay Ali Pig. On the other side naman, ito naman si Nick Velasco Miko nahihirapan dun sa depensa ni Rafi Solis on the other end. Of course, you see at the start of this ball game, mga postehan. Ano nakikita ko si Ali Pig already with 10 points. Nick Velasco, still nothing. 5 out of 5. But he misses the free throw.
Here's Cortez. La Cruz has a shot. He takes it. And he will miss. Arrigo with the rebound. Apat na kabate ng Coca-Cola as we approach the 6-minute mark of the opening quarter. Understandably, hinahanap ng Coca-Cola itong si Ali Pig, who has the hot hand here in the first quarter. 6 to shoot for the Tigers. Miranda is in trouble. Binigay kay Rivas and he will miss. Si Aliado meron ng dalawang rebounds ngayong hapon. Here's Velasco. Alaska nag-aabol ng apat dito sa opening quarter. Carriazo in the shaded lane and he misses the layup. But there's Don Aliado, who has been very active here in the opening quarter. 6 points para kay Don Carlos Aliado as he cuts down Coca-Cola's lead to 2 in this battle of unbeaten teams sa mga unang bahagi ng ating bagong conference, the Philippine Cup. Atid sa inyo ng Grand Matador. And we'll bring you more action from the Big Dome after these messages.
I brought some of the disappointment that we had from last conference and in the game that we lost in the last game. And, just try to carry it over into this conference. Try to start the conference off on a positive note, and for myself, just to get into a rhythm early, and that's important for me. So, I was able to knock down a few shots early, and it kind of set the tone for me and our team for the remainder of the game.
1, 2, 3. Ayan naman si John Arrigo. Of course, this conference, Miko, I think he knows that he has to step up more than what he did last conference, and it showed in his first game, 28 points already. Of course, Coca-Cola has been in a funk for the last 2 conferences, finishing last. So it's time to sound the alarm.
Totoo yan. Itong Tigers desperately trying to change their fortunes dito sa mga unang bahagi ng Philippine Cup. Here's Arrigo. Antonio from the corner, one of his favorite shots. And the ball ends up out of bounds and it will go to Alaska.
Great effort by Billy Mamaril, of course. Itong dalawang team, Miko, they really did not perform really well.
In the meantime, check out this Yakult slam dunk from Ali Pig, brought to you by Yakult. Okay, Kabachan. Here's Velasco. Entry pass para dapat kay Aliado na agaw ni Dale Singson. Nakakapasok lang sa ating ball game. So it's a 2-point guard combination para kay Binky Favis when you have Miranda and Singson on the court together. At patuloy pa rin ang mainit na laro ni Ali Pig.
I think he's 6 out of 6 from the field. Wala pang nakakahinto dito kay Ali Pig. So kung ikaw yung Coca-Cola Tigers, isa lang ang gawin mo, just get the ball to Ali Pig.
Mintis yung tira ni Cortez. And Singson will watch the ball sail out. At ito ang unang substitution ng Alaska. Sonny Toss comes in for Don Aliado. And speaking of Don Aliado, may ulat regarding Aliado si Jason Webb.
Well, Nico, you had mentioned that the starters, namely Don Aliado at saka si Mike Cortez, they're playing a lot better and they played very well in their first game. At ang dahilan nito is although they lost key players, pakiramdam ng mga players na mas define na ang roles nila, unlike before that they didn't really know who would be the starters and all. Ngayon, yung mga starters, they know that they are starters and they're willing to accept their role. The bench is also there and they are also willing to accept their role. Back to you guys.
Well, talagang it's very important for a player to know what he's gonna get. Very crucial yung sinabi ni Jason na talagang etong starters, all the starters si Tony De La Cruz, si Nick Velasco, si Mike Cortez, Don Aliado, and Jeff Carriazo. All are playing over 32 minutes. And that really defines what you have to do on the court. Ang dami nilang minutes on the court. At the other hand naman, nakakatakot din. Baka sa tagal ng ating conference, masunog yan. That's why within the conference, you should see Coach Tim Cone magpasok ng mga well, kagaya natin si Willie Wilson na bagong pasok at magpasok sa mga bench players and make them play a little longer than they are used to.
Velasco trying to complete the steal, and finally it's completed by Sunny Toss. Ito na si Carriazo. Carriazo on the move. He can't get rid of Dale Simpson. Nasa kay Velasco. Velasco tuhog nata. Nakakapasok lang. Along with Willie Wilson as we approach the 3-minute mark of the opening quarter. Velasco fires to the right side. You know, the entry of Nick Velasco really transforms the Alaska starting five from a good starting five to a strong starting five.
A strong starting five, and players who know what to do with the ball, players who know their role, as Jason mentioned, defined ang pinaka-importante dyan.
As Antonio connects. PM3 yun. Atin sa inyo ng bagong PM, Power to the People. That extends Coca-Cola's lead to 7 points, 21-14.
Well, Will Antonio struggled from the three-point area last game, 0 out of 7. This time he gets one to go.
And this will prompt an Alaska timeout with 2:23 to go in the opening quarter. Lamang po ng 7 ang Coca-Cola Tigers laban sa Alaska Aces. Nagkaroon po kanina ng isang PM3 sa tip sa inyo ng bagong PM, Power to the People, mula kay Will Antonio. Just one of a handful of long-time Tigers. No? Ilan na lang sila dyan na matagal na dito sa Coca-Cola. And the Tigers seem to have a different look, especially when you look at their numbers in the last Fiesta Conference.
So, ito naman yung nakakita natin, conference worst in points, 81.3, but they complement that with their best in defense, which they only give 82 points per ball game. Kanina nakita natin yung assist ni Johnny Abarientos para kay Will Antonio for the 3-point. Meron tayong konting statistics dito para kay Johnny Abarientos. Already 30,501 assists.
3,501.
Oo. Currently in 4th place amongst all the PBA players.
Kapit din naman ang mga kasama niya dun sa listahan. Siyempre nangunguna si Big J, Sonny Jaworski, El Presidente Mon Fernandez, The Bullet, Dito Pumares. Then pang-apat si Johnny A. Panglima naman, the Court General, Willie Generalao.
Wiley Willie.
Oh, si Wiley Willie. Dati naglaro para sa Wilbies, Hawaii, Pure Foods. Willie. Small but terrible, si Willie Generalao. Ligo is back on the court. Pinilitan si Will Antonio. 2:05 to go dito sa opening quarter. Unang laro po ito ng ating Friday doubleheader. Mamaya maghaharap ang Red Bull Barako laban sa San Miguel Birme. Unang laro po yan ng Red Bull. Ang San Miguel naman gustong bumangon mula sa kanilang pagkatalo dito sa Alaska. That's going to be an offensive foul. Ayun, kay Fronji Aldaba, ang ating Supreme Court Justice ngayong hapon.
Well, a lot of things happen when you press full court. Nakita natin nag-press yung Coca-Cola Tigers at nagkaroon sila ng turnover. Well, at least Alaska. They forced Alaska to a turnover, but they turned the ball over again.
Two straight misses coming from Wilson. Ito na si Arrigo. Arrigo on the move. Arrigo was caught in no man's land and he slams on the court. Napamahan ni Velasco.
It just shows how aggressive ito si Arrigo in this ball game. Nakita natin, 4 ang red shirts. We see again 1, 2, 3 red shirts. At walang natawag na foul. Outside lang pala para sa Coca-Cola Tigers.
And Renzi Bahar, itong bagong kasapi ng Alaska.
Holding foul.
He called for a holding foul. He stands up against veteran Johnny A. Bahar. Palagi ko yun yung usong gupit sa Indonesia. No? Tingin ko lang. Well, whatever works, it will certainly work for him dahil nag-MVP siya dun sa Indonesian Basketball League. Getting his second tour of duty dito sa PBA after playing for Shell. Here's a turnaround mula kay Simpson. At pakakataon para makahabol dito sa first quarter para sa Alaska. Here's Wilson from the corner. Bahar. Quarterbacking para sa Alaska with 1 minute and 14 to go in the first period. Brings it over to Hugnatan. And here's Velasco to Hugnatan. Hugnatan, casual shot, and the rebound ends up with the Barrientos.
Coca-Cola with his 2-3 zone defense, not respectful of the outside shooting ng itong 5 Alaska players on the court.
Under a minute to play in the opening quarter. Amaril to Barrientos. Under 10 seconds to shoot. Bola kay Arico. 4 on the shot clock. Arico from outer space. Bola nakuha ni Hugnatan. Galing Aurora Boulevard pa yung tira ni Arico. Here's Velasco with 32 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Patuloy pa rin naghahabol ang Alaska. Bahar sidestep. Blocked by Mamaril. Bola mananatili sa Alaska, and they will have 8 seconds to shoot.
You see again the block by Billy Mamaril. Parang yung tatay niya.
Tama. And there go, para kay Hugnatan. Loose ball foul. Spotted by referee Robert Ting.
Loose ball foul, number 3, Nick Velasco.
It's against Velasco, only his first personal. So far, ang Coca-Cola may magandang simula dito sa ating ball game. With a 9-point lead, 23-14. Time winding down, and the Tigers with a chance to take the last shot.
Second foul on Renzi Bahar, trying to contain ito si the flying A.
Foul on Renzi Bahar.
Ryan Barrientos.
Second personal, 15 foul.
Not yet.
Next limit na yan. Yung susunod.
Ronaldo for Sonny Toss.
Nito sits down. Don Aliado is back in the game. Aliado, the proud owner of 6 points here in the opening quarter. 8.8 seconds to go. Last shot time para sa Coca-Cola. Ayun talagang plano nila kanina pa. Setting up Dale Simpson for the TM3. Atid sa inyo ng bagong TM. Power to the people. At dyan magtatapos ang opening quarter. Very good start here for the Coca-Cola Tigers. Samantalang ang Alaska naman maghaharap ng paraan para makahabol. Dale Simpson and the rest of Coca-Cola off to a rousing start. Leading by 12 big points. 26-14. Ito ang score update, sir. Handog sa inyo ng Gold Eagle Beer, sir. Pangkondisyon sa may ambisyon. The second quarter is coming right up.